Welcome to the You World Order Showcase podcast, where we feature life, health, and transformational coaches being the change they seek in the world. If you'd like to be featured on our podcast to share what you're contributing to making the world a better place for us all, please go to www.jointheyouworldorder.com. Be sure to like and follow our podcast for the latest episodes. Hi, and welcome to the You World Order Showcase podcast. Today, I'm your host, Jill Hart, and today we have with us Yasmine Gulzar. Yasmine's one of my dear friends. She's an imagination expert and coach. She helps people who feel stuck in their current circumstances break free to imagine a different possibility so they can live their best life. Welcome to the show, Yas. It's just so great to have you here. I really have been looking forward to chatting with you on the podcast for a while now.
I love you. I call Jill my favorite magical unicorn.
Because my spiritual guide is Joan and the unicorns, as you may know. But that's not my spirit animal. My spirit animal is elephants. And Yasmine has helped me imagine a place where I am an elephant and I can play with my friends, my elephant friends in the water. And we were talking about earlier, she has a background of an ocean view. Is this Barbados that we're looking at, Yas?
I'm not sure. I just stole it from Zoom. It gives you a choice, and I just thought, oh, I'll have that one.
Okay. It's a lovely beach scene for those of you who are just listening. And it's not too dissimilar from the picture that I imagine in my mind when I'm an elephant and I'm playing in the surf with my other elephant friends. So that's why she calls me her unicorn, her special unicorn.
Yeah, you've got a lot of elephant in you too.
I do.
It does look like my favorite beach in Barbados. It does look a lot like it. But in Barbados, the end bit by there, it looks like just like a dinosaur. So it's a little bit by there. So the trees, they just make that kind of T-Rex. But apart from that, it looks pretty similar.
Very cool. So tell everybody your story. I know that you have a really interesting way that you came to realize the power of an imagination.
Well, it was pure fluke and desperation. What happened with me in 2002? My body attempted to reject my heart. Now, guys, that feels horrendous. It feels like a big giant bear has got his claws over your heart and is squeezing it tight. So I couldn't put up with that pain. So I was fighting for my life in hospital for like roughly 3 months, maybe a bit less. I was sedated. It was horrible. It just felt like death, to be honest, like extreme death. But the thing is, I had 6 little kids at home, aged 1 to 11. So I had to fight. I didn't have a choice. So it was horrific in a way that they didn't know what I had. So they stuck me in isolation, and I woke up and everyone had those white. It's funny now, but it wasn't then. It was. The white, what they called, like all over them. You can't see anyone, and if I touched down anything, they'd burn it. That's how bad it was. But anytime I come to consciousness, it was so painful that they used to put, what's that drug in and they put it in your vein.
Morphine?
Yeah, to knock you straight out. That's it. And so basically, I felt 2.5 months to 3 months. Most of it was asleep. So anyway, so they give me a drug. I think it was steroids by accident, and I was home. But I was like, the skin was hanging off my bones because at the time I wasn't able to eat anything, so I didn't eat for like 2.5 months. So I wasn't really me, but I was fighting. I really wanted to watch my kids grow up, so I couldn't do it, guys, because like there was cooking and cleaning and these little angels needed to be, there was school runs and there was all kind. I mean, I had a car and stuff. I had a partner as well, but bless him, he couldn't get away from his computer. And the thing is, guys, I was ashamed, and I didn't want to tell him how much pain I was in. And so that didn't work, and he left. But there wasn't much point in it being there, to be honest. Anyway, so there's me and these 6 kids, and I needed a way to cope. So I built the world behind me in my imagination. So in my imagination, my children were there, but they were little furry creatures. So 6 little furry creatures. And we just used to play all day. I don't think there was a night. I don't remember there being a night. So all day, in reality, I was in so much pain. Whenever I could, I would imagine myself behind me, in that beach, where I'd be in no pain because you don't actually take your body with you. So there's me on my beach. As I probably buried my kids way more than I should have, but it was in fun. It was just in fun. And I just had fun. And now I know I was sending my subconscious, I'm happy, I'm healthy, I'm a lot of fun, burying these kids, But all those years, to cut a long story short, there was 22 pills keeping me alive. They give me 5 years to live. And I really want to share how easy, obviously there are steps, Jill knows the steps, so it's not as easy as imagining. Like The Secret, the book and the movie, there's a lot of truth in that, but they just left out some steps, basically. But it is true. It is true. You can imagine yourself back to health. You can imagine yourself loads of money. You can imagine yourself in Barbados. I've done it lots of times. You can imagine yourself doing and having anything you want. And there are steps you have to take. So that let me just say that I had my dream in 2020. I was in Barbados, loving life. Actually, I wasn't, because my kids were home. So I learned, right, that your paradise, what you really, really, really want to manifest, or what you want to have, isn't really a place, it's a feeling, So you can have that feeling anywhere. And then once you rehearse that feeling over and over and over again, your subconscious doesn't know that it's not real. Hence, I was able to go to that beach a million times, So in different places all over the world, I've been, I took all my 6 kids. I've got evidence because I thought I was going to die. So I created these videos, and put them to music. So I have something to leave my kids when I died. And it's crazy looking back, because my kids were so young, and now they're 23 and above. This is miraculous. It's this supernatural superpowers, and everyone has the ability to do it.
It's knowing the steps. That's really the secret.
It's steps, isn't it, Jill?
Mm-hmm. And you help people learn those steps, right, Yas?
I told you everything I know, Jill. My favorite unicorn.
I know you've told me, but you help people as a coach learn what all the steps are, and to actually put them into play for themselves so that they can um imagine their best life
My
and experience it, not just there's your mind doesn't know the difference between a daydream and the reality, or a memory. So you can have these daydreams that you can create yourself. That's that's the beauty of it.
Another thing I do is, there's always something in the way. There's always something, that time when, a really special person that says, oh, you're not good enough yet, or you're not good enough, Jill. You can go back to that situation, and it's your imagination. You can change the scenery, you can change the character, or you keep it, and you can get that person to say, you are worthy, you're great at this. And it makes, I had a lady the other day. She was a fox, and she'd been married many times, okay, but none of those men went down on one knee to propose, and she was a bit upset, She was like, underneath that's the first thing that come to her mind, you know? So she imagined this little fox, this little man fox, little tuxedo, and she told me, she narrated, she scripted this little fox going down on one knee, saying exactly what she needed to hear. And once he said that, her face just lit up because she'd always wanted to hear those words and always wanted that man to be on one knee. And it took a fox to do it. It's kind of crazy, but it really works. The whole universe or her world on her shoulders just kind of lifted.
And you can, yes, I can so relate to that. I've been married twice, and neither one of my husbands ever got down on their knee and proposed to me.
You know you're worthy, you know, you do, you know. And this lady, she see, I keep on attracting really awesome people like you know. So you guys keep me on my toes because you already know this stuff anyway, you know. So like my clients, like they already know this stuff anyway, and they're fluent in Bashar and Abraham Hicks and Neville Goddard. So like so am I, but like I've got to take it another step to keep up with everyone, you know. And to do that, you've got to take it like your imagination. I have got to stretch my imagination to reach phenomenal states, you know. And then when you create from there, one of my clients was speaking to the gods in oh, what's that place? The gods with, you know, where all the gods are, Zeus and stuff.
Oh, Olympus.
Olympus, that's it, right? And like all he wanted to to feel is heard, and he wanted to be seen, and like he being seen by gods. Can you imagine that? Because this man was is already the cream of the crop. He already knows everything, but he still, in little boy inside him, really wants to feel seen and feel heard. And it always goes back to the same kind of we're not worthy.
You, it just in this little conversation we've had, you've actually helped me reimagine some conversations that went on in my childhood that I'm just going to play over and over in my head,
Yes,
the way that I want them to have gone instead of the way that
hear them.
the way that I have chosen to narrate them in the past. It doesn't empower me. And I don't have to remember it that way. I can remember it any damn way I want.
It was a lady, okay, one of the recent ones. She came second in a beauty contest. This lady is beautiful, you know,
Mhm.
she is absolutely beautiful. She's a lot older now. She is still the most, she is beautiful. And even though they didn't say that she, you know, it didn't work, didn't really make sense that she was second, excuse me. So we went back in there and we tweaked her to be first. So she was first. She told me the heels she wore. She told me how everything smelled, how everything tasted. She was first. She took like how the room, how different it was. It was a slight difference between coming second and coming first, like in the room, you know? And she left that hall. The hall. She stood differently. Her shoulders felt totally different as soon as she left that hall. It was kind of, it's so easy to do, guys. It's incredibly easy and it's life changing. Just one call is life changing. Jill,
It is. It doesn't take a lot, but sometimes you just need somebody to help you remember how. Because I think as we get older, we forget that, daydream is a thing. It's okay. You can sit there and make up your own whatever you want, and you don't have to just be sitting someplace. I remember as a teenager, we used to go backpacking all the time and with my family, which was often a kind of a miserable experience, to be honest, because we would carry these backpacks that were, it was back in the 70s and we were in California, and the backpacks, I was the tallest of the four women in our family. And they, for some reason, thought that I had to carry the most weight because my sisters were smaller than I was. They were younger and smaller, and my mom was smaller and more petite than I was. So, it was just like, well, just give it to Jill. She can carry it. And so, long story short, I think I need to reimagine that whole scenario. But I used to imagine while I was walking, and we always lived in communities on bases or in foreign countries where we lived in like towns or cities. So I would imagine living on a farm, and I'd have chickens and rabbits and goats and sheep and cows and all the things, and I grow a garden. We never gardened when I was growing up. Um, and I know how to make bread and soap and all the stuff. And this is the daydream I would have as I'm walking along this path in California, which is kind of deserty. It wasn't lush and beautiful like it is when I hike around here. So years later, I'm in my 40s. I was I was 45 at the time because Sarah was a year old. I'm living in this McCastle in South Jordan, Utah. I'm standing in this backyard that I finally like put that we bought a brand new house, so the backyard needed to be landscaped. So I'd kind of arranged it in a way that was like a garden, and I had was working on growing some crops. And I realized that wasn't what I wanted. And so it wasn't a month, maybe two later, that I came up to Cache Valley, which is about an hour and a half from Salt Lake, which is where South Jordan is. And I went through this pass and dropped into Cache Valley, which is the most gorgeous place I've ever been. It's just it's beautiful, lush, green valley, and it has four seasons. And long story short, I did have a homestead, and I did get chickens and goats and a cow, and I had a llama even for a time. But everything that I had been imagining in my daydreaming walk, it it became reality for me.
It does, it does. I like I said, I had my dream. I was in Barbados, 444 days, guys. But I didn't have my children, so I came back. I came back to sort everything out. They're grown now, you know. My last one left, I think, last month. You know? So I want to enjoy the most awesome Christmas with them because I am at my healthiest when I'm in Barbados, you know. I'm good here, like, you know, but it's not like I can run around the block or anything, but I am really good in the UK, but I want to just relax and in Barbados and they can come and visit whenever they want to. You know, that's my dream, you know, but I'm not in any rush because I absolutely love it here too, because they are here. I've got a nice house, I've got a nice dog. Yeah, the only thing I want to tweak, if anything, is the weather because it's cold. But yesterday it was in the minuses and the day before it snowed. But I just felt good in it. Like it wasn't horrible or frightening or I wasn't fearful. I just embraced it, which is not like me. It must be a new yes.
I can see that. And sometimes the things that we imagine, like I don't live on a homestead anymore, but I learned so much from that experience. And I can enjoy my presence now. We go through seasons, and it's okay to change. It's okay to have a dream, and it's okay to have a bunch of dreams. Like, you love Barbados, and you can go to Barbados anytime you want.
We're not
You don't have to change your whole life and live there, but you
well,
can
we're not I could go there because it'll be different because I went there for a whole month after the 440 after the pandemic. And I still wasn't a match. It still was. It was like because I still had like about two or three of them at home then, so I still wasn't ready to stay there. So now, it's different. It's different because like they've flown the nest and they're all doing so well, and they're all like thriving and they're all blissful. And after traveling to Mexico in June, like I just feel like Barbados is just like a stone throw away, whereas Mexico was like 10.5 hours away, and Mexico was mad because I didn't even know I was going to Mexico until 9 days before. And my coach, she's just something else. It was a spiritual retreat. I was, I don't know. There was this lady, she's Mexican, okay, and I'm too playful, way too playful, maybe immature-ish sometimes. And I knew I should have behaved, guys. I knew, but she, like she has this bush, and before we go into the igloo, like it's an igloo, but they actually roast you. So she kind of brushes us and smokes us with this, and it was hilarious. I mean, she started off. I did not start it off, but the whole 4, 5, no, that was 5, 6, 7 days actually. It was like walking in the pages of the book that I'd written about the little creatures on the beach. Because even though I always thought it was Barbados, right? You could walk into the sea without any problems. Like in Barbados, it's surrounded by the ocean, so the water's cold. It's not really, but it is when you first walk in there, when you get used to it. But and the pools, they're cold unless it's the evening. But in Mexico, you could just walk into the sea, and you could walk into the pool no matter what that time of day. It was warm, and there were creatures everywhere, creatures that I've never met and I do never want to meet again. Do you know what I mean? Because they don't tell you about these dog-sized looking rats with no tails, and they don't tell you that there's giant snakes slithering around at night, and it's like but it was an adventure, and this stuff is there for you guys. I mean, 9 days, I got everything together in 9 days. That was a miracle in itself. That was supernatural superpowers. I so wanted to say to Riley, I can't do this, but it wouldn't leave my mouth. It would not. I couldn't say it because it was meant to be. And I had the most awesome times with the most awesome people in the universe. And I have a mantra: I'm surrounded by the most awesome people in the universe. And it's true, guys. It's true.
Yeah, and a lot of it is just believing. And so often we're raised and we fall into the trap of limiting ourselves, because really we are the only ones who can limit ourselves. No one else has control over what we think, what we say, how we feel. That's
Another angle is they didn't mean to, like our parents, the teachers, the people that we had, they didn't mean to reprogram us to be like this. They were just copying what their mums and dads did and their teachers did. Like you can give yourself another platform, another foundation, of imagination. You can fill those. They're like huge gaping holes that need to be filled with love and belonging and being accepted. You could do that yourself. You don't need it outside of you, because when you do that yourself, even if you imagine your mum, because my mum, oh my gosh, I'm not even going to describe her, but she wasn't very nice. And my dad, he wasn't very nice. But for 20 years, I got my dad to be nice because I scripted him nice. Towards the end, he glitched a bit, but that was okay because I had my 20 years. But anything is possible. My dad was so, 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 so mean. So I got a pen and I scripted what a real dad would be like, a supportive dad, a dad that was good with my kids, a dad that was loving, a dad that was caring. And he stepped up to that. And I never really believed that he would, but he did. So it's limitless, what you could do with your imagination. I think I needed a pen with my dad. I think because I don't think if I just imagined it, I don't think my subconscious would have believed it. So writing it down with my dad, it's more powerful.
For people that aren't so, that you haven't had so much experience um, with events in your life that have become so ingrained in who you are, you can often just change what you're thinking about the behaviors that they have that annoy you and cause you to have like friction with them. It just imagine the thing differently as it's happening to you. We all have those situations where something happens, and it can be, I like to use this example because it was something that in the beginning bugged me a lot when my husband first came off the road. But he would leave this mason jar in the sink with the shaker ball in it because he likes to make protein shakes.
Mhm.
He would fill it up with water and leave it in the sink. And I hate dishes in the sink. Dishes in the sink are like a message to me, you're not being good enough, and God forbid we get a whole bunch of them in the sink and then it's a big project because I hate big projects, cleaning projects like that. So I used to be like, I would grumble about it every single day. But he said to me, I can't put my hand in the jar, so I like to let it soak. Now, when I see the mason jar sitting in the sink, it's like, oh, I can help my husband because my hand does fit in that jar. I buy the wide mouth ones because my hand fits in there and I can clean it properly. It doesn't bother me anymore because it's like, and because of that, he did realize that there are a lot of things that I just do that he could do for himself. And so he does other things that I am really grateful for.
You're
Like,
really an alchemist. You really are an alchemist. Um, the way I like to explain it is to soothe, just to soothe, okay? Is there's only so many scenarios on this earth. And like when you watch movies and when you watch series, like they do the same ones over and over and over and over. The mason jar is probably one in there. If you ever seen it on a, I haven't seen it, but if there's probably like one that's been scripted. If it's not, if it's not, there's a good one. But so when people come to me and they have a lot of problems, and I kind of get them to zoom out and just like look at it as if like you're a human, this is human behavior, and this is replicated like all over the world. It's replicated in movies, in series, and like it's okay. Do you know what I mean? It's okay. And if you can get a different perspective on it. You know what I mean? It's we're human, and we're gonna get things wrong. We're gonna make mistakes. Me more than anything, like I already told you that I give myself a really hard time. I mean, I had no business in bringing up 6 kids when I couldn't breathe. No business at all. I tried to make it up to them with 100 holidays because, well, not quite 100, but because I could breathe on holiday. When if I was in a warm climate, I could run around in Barbados and do all the towels and the swimwear and like a million times a day. I would still have energy, but bring me back to the UK and it wasn't pretty. So it's easier, like you said, to script it, to see it, to look at it from another perspective, like how you did that all by yourself. Like, there was this one lady, I can't remember her name, but she was so, so, so upset when she came to the call. And I was trying to get her to put the upsetness aside so we can get like this really, really nice platform to build, but she would not do it. And I was kind of like, what do I do with it? You know what I mean? So I let her talk, bless her, right? And she was upset because she had a friend, and her friend, she used to be on the phone to her, she used to see her all day, every day. And now this friend was gone. And I said, well, where's the friend gone? She met somebody, she met a man, and she's in love. But that's not gone. That's in love. She still loves you. She's just in love. She's right now, her tension's on this man because she's in love. It doesn't mean that she loves you any less. Just give her a minute, bless her. And then the woman, she just kind of let out a little giggle. And then she said, you're right. I've got so much time to start my business now. I got so much time to see my own friends and my family now. And she'll, like I said, yeah, and she'll come right back around because it's not that she doesn't love you. It's just she loves right now somebody else is taking up more attention. And that's just a little tweak. And this lady was so, so happy. And then we went on to have a really good creative call.
Sometimes just having someone that can help you shift. So it is easy, but often we make it more complicated than it needs to be. We just get trapped in these thought cycles where, it's just like you're running conversations in your head that you'll never have in real life that mean nothing. They really don't mean anything. All they're doing is making you miserable.
When you can do something else with that time, something really, really cool, and like I've got these pockets of, I can't even remember what they're called now, but maybe pockets of perspectives, I think I called them, where
Mhm.
like if I got like a moment where I'm aware this is like a moment in between thoughts, I'll pick it up and think of the most funniest times, because I always want my vibration to be happier and happy and happy. It's fine if it's not, but that's my intention because like when we're vibrating higher and higher and higher, like our subconscious knows that and it has to give us by law more of that good stuff. And I like the good stuff, you know.
Yeah.
I really like the bad stuff. I don't want to go back there. Ever, so I'm playful about that. Obviously, I don't mean that, but I do mean that, but like in a playful way, not yeah. So yeah, so I do that. I have these pockets of appreciation as well. If I need to appreciate like Scooby. Scooby was once a crocodile in a dog's body, and now I can literally have walks within that. It's a real adventure, not like when I'm not even
Scary adventure.
yeah, yeah, I'm not even going to speak into it because he's there and I don't want him to. But like, yeah, imagine the worst, and it's worse than that. Okay, limbs went missing. Yeah, but they're
As a
fine.
dog walker, also, I can identify with what you're talking about. I had a dog that I could not walk. She was a she there's a kind of a breed of dog called a walker hound, and we used to call her the can't walker hound because you couldn't walk her. I can't tell you how many times I would put a leash on her and she would take my feet out from under me. She weighed like 80 pounds or something. She was huge. And she just, I had to put those spiky collars on her. I really, I'm not that kind of person. I would put the spiky collar on her and a harness on her, and I'd have that spiky collar on a leash and the harness on a leash just to get her so that she would like maybe go in the same direction I was going in at my pace. It was, I gave up walking her because it was just so miserable.
It's
And you couldn't just let her go because she'd run off. She'd come home eventually, but like,
It's funny that you said you can't walk her and she's a walking dog because his name's Scooby and they literally say Scooby Doo. And I said, no, Scooby don't. But it was exhausting. But now, like, I kind of used to try and not imagine it because it was too far a jump, you know? But then like I just thought, imagine going to bed instead of overthinking how many people he's bitten that day. Guys, when I say limbs were lost, there wasn't any limbs lost. I exaggerate, but he did used to bite mouth. There wasn't any blood either. So like, but it's not nice to be bitten, even if there's no blood. Yeah, and he used to like the sound effects. He used to act like he was had rabies, and it wasn't a good situation. But he was a COVID baby, and I had a lot of patience, and now he's an angel. So I'm really, really grateful. Mostly angel, like they only have like glimpses of the old Scooby, rarely, But I can't tell if he's going to be mean when somebody approaches or a dog approaches. He doesn't have that um whatever it is. I am intuitive as well, but I still can't tell whether he's going to be kind or whether he's going to be mean. It's like and I look to the owner, and the owner says, "Oh yeah, it's a fine." That owner does not know. Because Scooby looks really, really, really cute, and he's got this collar that says nervous, and it's a bright yellow one, and he's got this lead that says nervous. So it tells like people to be
Yeah.
cautious. But so I leave it to the owner of the other dog. But like I said, he's doing really, 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 really great jobs. He's listening.
Dogs are such funny creatures. I we run into dogs on our walk all the time. There's because we walk the same route, and we have another dog, Charlie, that we take, and he's young and he's really smart and he's pretty well behaved. So I love walking him. It makes me feel good to walk Charlie. Um, but Charlie's not allowed in my office when I'm on calls because he doesn't understand who I'm talking to, so he wants to be in my lap, and he's a big dog also. The other dog, Pudge, who is very pudgy and very old, he just lays in the corner now. He can come in the office. That's his treat for the day. But so we have these dogs that we come across, and most of them are, they're just like, "Hello, how are you?" and they'll bark. This one dog, her name is Sadie, and she's behind this fence that has a gate that's wide open because the people that own her have a an auto mechanic shop there. So Sadie will run at the fenced in portion, not the open portion. And she goes and she's baring her teeth, but she's wagging her tail. It's like I think she's just smiling, but it's like the weirdest smile because her teeth are all showing and she's barking like she's really happy, but her teeth are showing. Sadie, you are confused, dog. And she'll run down to where the gate's open, turn around and walk off.
That's what he does. His tail's wagging, his fur's up. Like you don't know which part is telling the truth.
You're right. Exactly.
But that's the thing. This is a question I got for you, okay? That like everyone's on about, like, not everyone, but telling the truth. Okay. So I've always had this the thing, because when we imagine, well, because I spent all of my life imagining. It began because I live in Tiger Bay. I kind of still do. And I wasn't accepted by my mum and dad. I mean, that my mum and dad were doing the best with what they had, bless them. But I was born like 4, 5 years, and 6 years after my three siblings, so I was kind of left out a lot, And I mean, like, this one time they went to Paddington. They literally left me go to school. I went to school. They all went for a day out in Paddington, and when she didn't tell me till I came back, but that really, really, really hurt, like for forever, That's just
Mhm.
no, that's just wrong. Anyway, so that's an example of what mom and dad and my siblings used to be like. So outside there were these trees. I passed them every day in Scooby's walk, and they were my tiger trees. And like every time I'd go out there, or sometimes they call for me, the tiger trees. And I'm just a kid, guys. They were just like open, and out of the trees, these tigers would come out. And only recently I noticed that there was a mummy tiger, a daddy tiger, and three siblings tiger, like a girl sibling, and like just like in the house. But I felt so much love from those tigers, and if I can feel love from those tigers out, obviously were real. Well, they were real to me, but like what is truth? Because technically that wasn't true, but it's true to me.
Marissa Pierce says, "Tell yourself a better lie because they're all lies." And well, we don't want people to lie to us. We're perfectly free to lie to ourselves. You can make up any memory you want and you can change any memory you want. I give you permission.
Mm. I
You
call
know,
it
it's like,
in that context, I call it pretend, because like another word for imagination is pretend. Like I always say, like before you tend, you have to do some pre-work first. Like if you just imagine and go into the imagining without the pre stuff, Jill knows already. When I was in Barbados, I was split energy because I wanted to be with my children, and everything was going upside down and inside out. And all of a sudden, a volcano erupted, and the whole of Barbados was covered by this like plume of ash, and it looked extremely how do you say the word apocalyptic?
apocalyptic.
Yeah, and it was horrific. And there's me. I'm in Barbados because heart disease and asthma and all my other health conditions, right? And who can manifest that? And the sulfur, oh my gosh, it just felt like my whole esophagus was on fire. It was crazy. And what kept me going was that the Matrix when Morpheus says to Neo, "Do you think that's real air you're breathing?" That kept me going because I just thought this isn't real. This can't be real because I worked all this time to survive like heart disease to look after my kids for this. I wasn't accepting that. It's just I scripted my own life. You can script your own life. It's so easy.
Yeah, it is easy. I highly recommend that you join with Yasmin because she's got this group over on Facebook where she really does help people. And you can also reach out to her through Facebook and have her help you figure out how to get your imagination working for you in a way that helps you have a better life, right?
It's called your supernatural superpower because I just got the blueprint. You have it all. So, excuse me. The first session is always free because you don't know, even though we've talked about it for ages, you don't actually know what I do. So, like, I give the first session free so you actually know and you leave that session feeling absolutely awesome, blissful, you do. So even if you don't work with me after that, you always know where it lives inside you. It's always been there. Jill will tell it's always been and it's right under our nose. And it's so easy to reach there. But like I said, the first session is always free. I'm launching on the 16th of December. That's in a group called Universal Awakening. So if you want an invitation to that, then just say, direct message me and I can sort you with that. Or if you want a creative call, you can have that for free. If you want to go into the group, just let me know. Let me know whatever you want. You can have because I really want to give back. I wasn't supposed to be here 22 years after that happened to me, and even though it took me bucket list after bucket list after bucket list to get to this Yaz, and even one big giant fear list, I really want to share. I really want to share with you like how this works, and I want to. I'll once I've done this, I'll create an app so everyone can taste this. Because everyone needs to know how easy this is, and just to be happy. Just to be happy. I mean, all those scenarios in all those movies, and if you could pick one, what the best one, and create it for yourself and relive it as if it is you and you are the main character, you are the hero, or you are the queen, or you are the whatever you want to be. And in Jill's case, an elephant, but it doesn't make it like any good or bad whether you're an animal or a human character, because if when you're a human character like me, in that world, I would have had like the dishes to do. I would have had the kids, the school runs, I would have had the cooking, the cleaning, the uniforms. But because I was on the beach and my kids showed up as those little furry creatures, all of that went out the window, and it was just pure love, pure play, pure attention for those children that I could not give to them in real life. So I felt whole on that beach. I could not feel anything like that in reality. But like when the worlds were merged, it took a long time because I did not know what I was doing, guys. It took a while for me, but now I know what I'm doing. I can do it much faster and much quicker and much playfuler and much fun because I take all the seriousness out. Because if you imagine with seriousness, then you create seriousness. If you imagine with playfulness, you create playfulness. And when you intend playfulness, you're in a child who was like 0 to 7 when all your belief systems were created. Like if you invite them just by being playful, then when you build your imagination realm, your belief systems go down. Each and every last one of them go down. So you've got that foundation of immense love, immense pure playfulness, like kid like anything's possible. Like if you had the perspective of a child, like when you were a child, not me, and whatever components you had, this pre everything is pre programming. So anything is possible. I can't, say that enough. Anything is possible in that little world. Like I'm still living today because anything is possible. So number one, that she or he or the child's involved. So they're happy. They're extremely happy. And so when they're extremely happy and your belief systems are down, anything's possible, literally anything's possible, like I already said, your subconscious is lit up because you're lit up. And the universal law is if you're lit up, the universe has to give you more of that through serendipities and coincidences and stuff. You'll have downloads of awesome ideas and have Jill in your life. There's evidence right by there.
Yes.
That she's on that side. But yeah, it just becomes more blissful and more blissful and more blissful. And then it feels like every day, if like it just feels like you expect blissfulness. I go through my day every night and I expect it's kind of like I sprinkle smiles and little nods and of appreciation and conversations like, oh well, thank you, and people opening up the door or me opening up the door and people appreciating Scooby. That was a bit of a stretch but about a while back. And the kids, I include the kids, I include the grandcubs, I include like my closest friends from around here. It's just absolutely awesome what is possible. It's incredible.
I couldn't say it better myself. And all the more reason y'all really need to reach out to Yasmine and get to know her. It's just to be in her energy field it's a wonderful, fun place. Knowing her enriches your life. And I don't say that lightly.
I remember Jill invited me to a group and I did a live. I was really nervous. It was a while back. It was 3 wishes fulfilled. And it was a bit of a cheat, guys, okay? Because the first wish goes to your higher self. And all it means is that you do something creative, something that really lights you up inside. I mean, it could be easy, as simple as hopping on one leg. I mean, whatever, like artwork, whatever. And then the second wish goes to your inner child. Again, that could be as easy as hopping on one leg or artwork or whatever you did when you was a kid, dancing, hopscotch, if you know what that is, skipping and the rope or playing or running or jumping or being silly in the room. And then the third and final wish is yours. But by the time you go through the higher self wish and the inner child wish, like you kind of feel fulfilled anyway.
Yeah,
That
you
wish
do.
is yours, and then I share how to do that. I share how you get your wish, and that's for the creative ball. You know? Yeah.
And she has a magic lamp. You're
Oh,
not going to get away without talking about the magic lamp.
I was going to bring it down. Actually, I forgot. It's like a million miles upstairs. I fell down the stairs the other day, guys.
Oh my
No,
cow.
no, miracle. You know, I have. I meant to bring that down as well. I had a copper band around my
Mhm.
wrist. You know, so the only thing that it hurt was the poor copper band. So even though it's bruised, it doesn't hurt. It's not broken. I broke my fall by going backwards because the other month I fell down the stairs and I used my little toe, so that I broke my little toe. So that wasn't good. I was hobbling around for ages. So I
So
learned
painful.
that I thought that I think it's a sign to move. You know? Because I got a million stairs and my kids have left home. I do not need 4 bedrooms anymore. So I'm looking into moving and it's fun, you know. But a couple of weeks ago, I was thinking, oh, shall I stay here because it's winter and it's cold and I want to hibernate? But now I want to move. That's the evidence, you know. It's very pretty. You know?
It's gorgeous. All my favorite colors, purple,
It's like Christmas
teal.
shit. Oh, this is, you know, yeah.
So I'm gonna imagine a wonderful space for you that's just the right size to
Mm-hmm.
make you feel cozy, but not sometimes spaces can be just not fit us anymore because all the people and things that used to be in them, we just become caretakers of all that stuff instead of being able to just appreciate the things we want to appreciate in that space.
Well, I thought I was going to die. So I've got thousands and thousands of, well, a lot of photographs of my little angels and kids. And I've got boxes and boxes of them. I've decluttered everything else. I did a lot of decluttering. So um, my kids, my last daughter, if she takes all the furniture to her new house where she's moving soon, then I won't have much left. Like I can go to a 2 bedroom or I don't know, you know, and I'll keep it for a while and then go to Barbados and then let it go if I'm staying there or keep it if I'm coming back. So I'm not sure. I just leave it open. I'm grateful times a million, million, million either way because I'm alive and kicking and
And
I'm
there's a new adventure just around the corner for you. And you can just leave it open and let the adventure unfold as it wants to unfold.
yeah, it can unfold perfectly. And that's a really good place to be in, like not wanting anything, just
Mhm.
being satisfied.
Yeah, I can agree with you on that. I've reached a point in my life where I am happy where I'm at. I'm happy with what I have. My life is really good. And I get to spend Thursdays with one of my grandsons and we have fun adventures and we play. We took him to the pool last night even. He doesn't swim yet. He's only 4. There was another 4-year old there and his sister who's 3 that they both liked to play in the water a lot and they were really really agile even though they had life jackets on like my grandson did. They were just like jumping in and splashing around and their dad was playing with them and they were really really good at they wanted the little boy, his name's Hiram. He wanted to play with my grandson so much. Um, and it helped my grandson get out of his shell and want to learn how to like be adventurous in the water too, instead of like just clinging to me like, don't let me drown. I don't want to get hurt.
One of them. My so we went to the swimming pool, big giant swimming pool with millions of slides in that. And my daughter had my granddaughter, and I had my grandson. My daughter was 3 at the time. My granddaughter was 3 at the time. the grandson 5. They're about to be 4 and 6. Anyway, but my grandson, I call him a grandcub, he um he was screaming. Now this place is noisy. Like, and he was screaming, he did not want to go in the water. And I didn't realize that my daughter had set me up. Because because I had 6 kids, I'm really good with kids. So I said, okay, Sonny, we're gonna put one toe in. And if our first toe likes it, then we'll put the next toe in. And if the next toe doesn't like it, we'll take it out and we'll start again. And I kept on saying that over and over until I got to all 10 toes. And then he just stopped screaming and said, okay, we'll do it, you know? But I wasn't quite sure what to do with him, in all honesty, but it worked, And then we put our toes in, and then he adored it. His sister's a mermaid. He's not quite a mermaid, bless him. But we've taken him quite a lot after that. And do you know what? I just want him in my background. I just want him in my beach. I want him in the sand. I want him to taste Barbados. I want him because that's his heritage as well. So yeah, so if I stay in the UK, the chances of that happening are slim. Because when kids grow up, they grow up. You see them, they visit a couple of times a month, but that's it. I'm not moaning. I still appreciate them. I got millions of them, so I'm fine. But when I go to Barbados, like the caliber of interaction is different. There's pools and there's food like nothing else. Like it's like food for gods. And then there's the sea, and there's the ice cream and the sweets and the fruits and it's like beyond imagination.
Not beyond yours, though.
No, I'm there right now. Yeah.
I can feel it. I do get that. I have 5 kids myself, so I get the whole. I've got plenty of them, so I know that if anything ever happens, I've got fallback positions, and 3 of them live close enough that I can do a lot with their kids, really on a pretty regular basis. Like the one we have a standing date on Thursdays. We take him out. We do something fun, whether it's go to the park or go to the movies or go play in the water or go bowling. We do something with him every day or every week. The other ones are still babies, but I think in another year or two we'll be able to have all 3 of them and go do stuff with them. So I'm really excited about that. But I have 5 other grand cubs who live in California. So when I go to see them, it's kind of different. And there's tons of stuff to do in San Diego. So we always have a good time there.
I've got a little correction for you, right? I have grand cubs. You have grand calves because you're an elephant.
Oh yeah, that's true. I never thought of it that way. I call them my grand littles usually, but
I'm
I
kidding.
like grand calves. Call them that.
But yeah, I still think though, because I only got 2 grandcopes, because I've got lots of kids. They're still quite young, I guess. The older is only one of the older ones I've had, but I'm sure, like as I said before, if I go to Barbados, then the caliber, I probably won't see them as often, but the caliber of experiences will be different. It'll be like, I don't know. I'm favoring it right now because my position is in the UK. Like when I go over there and start missing them, maybe then it'll be different. But like I said, it's just like 7, maybe 8 hour flights. It's not like Mexico where it was a lot. And they've changed the airports as well. So whereas we used to have to travel like 5 hours to the airport, we only have to travel 2 to get to Barbados. 2 hours to the airport. So it's just that 3 hours of like shorten the travel distance is a lot.
Mhm.
It's just a miracle.
I love it. Yes, this has been an amazing conversation. And I know that you're probably getting to the point where you need to go and cough in freedom. So, what's the one thing that you hope the audience takes away from the conversation we've had today?
audience, everyone out there, you have a supernatural superpower, and your supernatural superpower will lead you easily and playfully to be, do, and have anything you wish. And you can have it. You can have it. And it does not take long for reality to catch up. I mean, I'm proof. Okay. And yeah, I asked for the UK, I asked to come back to the UK, I asked to have my children and here and stuff, and I'm enjoying every single moment. In fact, I'm recording every single moment. So when I'm over there, I don't know. But then it's just a feeling. You just come and get it, and then you kind of like, bask in it, and it comes to you. When as soon as you want something, it just it spirals out of control, and you don't really get it. But when you feel like you've already got it and you play with it like it's a scenario, like it's a character, like it's yours, then the whole universe changes. And that's your supernatural superpower. Nobody else's. I can give you the blueprint and you can play with it, but it's not mine. I just discovered it. And like everyone says that it's not out there. They haven't seen anything like it out there. And it should be. Have a go.
Awesome. Thanks for joining me today, Az. Thank you for joining us for the U World Order Showcase podcast. Remember, if you would like to be featured on this podcast as a life, health, or transformational coach, please visit www.jointheuworldorder.com. We look forward to talking to you next time as we present another life, health, or transformational coach being the change they seek in the world.